My wife and I have 6 children, and sometimes maintaining diet can be a little challenging because, you know, they want to eat things that maybe we don't necessarily want them to eat. And, you know, we've gone through a few seasons where we've like tried to purge different things out of the pantry or whatever, and we'll like, okay, we're gonna eat all this stuff and like get rid of it because we don't want to waste the money, or we'll just throw it out or donate it to a food bank or whatever. Is there, and you made a comment in your presentation about how some food is not food.
Yeah.
So my question to you, is there like a top 3 or a top 5, or are there things that you've researched that are like things to avoid? And like, are there things that as parents we could like in a simple way pass on some healthy habits regarding, like, I don't know if that's like an ingredient selection, or I don't know, that might be too broad of a question, but I don't know, hopefully you understand what I'm getting at.
I do. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like kids would be really, obviously I'm not a parent. That is a whole other thing. I will say that there is a chapter in intuitive eating talking about children and raising intuitive eaters so that they're not having a relationship with food where they feel like, because a lot of times it's a struggle, right? A lot of times we tell them like, you can't have dessert unless you eat your vegetables, but then it almost, that kind of perspective, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, vegetables are a pain in the butt, and like it makes you want the dessert more. It's kind of a strange thing. But honestly, I think that the biggest thing that you can do for kids is to be a role model. And like I said, we don't usually, we don't usually rise to the level of our goals. More often than not, we fall to the level of our systems and to our environment. Like, we are products of our environment, which is why we surround ourselves with people that we want to be like. So if you're surrounded around like friends, there was a study done. I think they found, it was a 32-year study, and they found that if someone was friends with someone who was obese, they were like 72% more likely to also be obese. Like, and it's because we want to feel a sense of belonging. And so we tend to be like the people we are around. And as parents, you have this ability to cultivate an environment for your children that is optimal. And so I would continue to say, trying to purge certain foods out of the house, just so it's not even a question or necessary. It's not that they can't have it, but you're unlikely to, like, for me, I always said, like, I can have ice cream whenever I want, but I'm not going to usually leave it in the house, just because then if I really want it, I'll get in my car and I'll go get it. For as far as food that I rather than not recommend, I would just recommend whole foods as much as possible. So some of my staples are like eggs, rolled oats, like any sort of vegetables, apples, any sort of fruit, like something that's an actual food is what I recommend most. Like the closer you can get to one ingredient, the better.